What's going on, Spittin Chiclets fans? You know the drill. This interview is brought to you by No Days Wasted, the creators of DHM Detox, the vitamin for people that drink. DHM Detox is a recovery formula with a blend of natural ingredients, vitamins, and electrolytes that help you bounce back after drinking alcohol. Forget the next day nausea, brain fog, and anxiety. It's time to be smart and responsible about when you drink, and DHM Detox is your go-to drinking buddy that helps boost your body's natural response to drinking. It's risk-free purchase, so if you don't love it, they'll give you your money back. And as a bonus, here's a sneak peek at their Rapid Immunity Hydration product that is coming soon. Sign up for the email updates at nodayswastedco.com to stay in the loop. They're focused on creating functional, science-backed products that help you be your best. Also, I can't forget, No Days Wasted has also donated $10,000 to the ECHL Player Relief Fund, and they're offering 20% off your order of DHM Detox using the BIZ20 promo code. Just head over to their website at nodayswastedco.com for no days wasted after drinking. Now, enjoy the interview.
And now, time for your favorite segment. It's the second official, it's the third actual, but the first time we didn't get the stories. But this is now the Rink Shrink with Dr. Ross Yandle. We're back, and we'd like to at least give you first form and saying how you been and what's going on. Are the emails still coming in?
The emails are flowing, boys, and it's great to be here and see you guys in person.
It really matters a lot being in person.
We had some technical difficulties the last time. As you guys all know how my software and all that type of stuff works. It's not very good. My brain, everything doesn't work very good, but it's great to be here sitting with the boys.
I'll ask you this personally. Is it hard to sit there and stare at a computer screen and read these emails and really absorb what they're saying? Is it difficult? Like, are you putting in some serious hours here?
I'm putting in the time, and I'm so old school that I print every email.
I love it.
I have to print and highlight because I can't just look at the computer screen. I think that's old school.
Well, I'll tell you what. I loved the first official one. The response was also wonderful. Whit, do you have anything else to say before we get into our first story?
No. The only issue is that we could have really used this guy at the pond hockey tournament.
Oh.
So we haven't played Toronto yet. I don't know when we're dropping this episode, but the New Hampshire one was not good, and so with your hands, it would have been a big help, but you decided to back out on that, so thanks for nothing.
No. I wasn't invited. The captain and the head coach did not even invite me. I need a formal invitation. I can't go down to Central Park
print it out
on a Tuesday and say and try out for a team. But all I need is a text. Hey, BY, Dr. Ross, whatever you want to call me. Rossi Beach. Are you interested in playing in the Lake Winnipesaukee Pond Hockey Tournament?
It's only an
hour from your house. Yeah, I think I can make sure everybody from Charlestown, where I already grew up, drives up there on the weekends. Summer, winter, no matter what. I think I could have done it, but I didn't get a formal invitation. I got a tweet back from RA when I saw the tryouts happening, and he said something like, should have Venmo'd. I supposed to pay off the coach?
That was a joke.
I didn't get it.
I don't know where the initial list of invitees came from. I did some invites in the office for content purposes, but I don't know who was responsible for the initial list. That was of Mike.
I knew he had to get something off his chest, though.
Yeah, well, usually, we're right here on trade deadline time. Usually the GM head coach has something to do with that type of stuff.
Well,
you would think.
The Barstool difference.
I'll say this. I left everything into Mike Grinnell and RA's hands. The result should fall on their shoulders. I had no say in this. I even tried to warn them about their defensive game. They thought they were going to go out there and score 15 fucking goals every game, and they embarrassed themselves. They ran out of steam. I said this on Twitter. That Rudy kid, he was a two-pump jump. He was flying in the first 5-6 shifts of the first game, and then he had no legs. He just splat. Two-pump jump. He needs the Roman swipes on his legs.
Dr. Ross's hands.
So my apologies. If I actually got more of the reins, I would have probably given you a call, but I felt like I was being left out as well. Now, moving on to the Rink Shrink, do you want to tee us up for a story?
Yeah, let's get her going, boys. So I'm going to start things off this week with my own experience. Back, I used to run a hockey program here in the Boston area, and this is an interesting story. So I had this guy, he walks in my office. I'm sitting there right before tryouts, and this is funny because in the Boston area, we're actually leading into the end of season, and the way things work around here, at least, and I'm not sure how it is the rest of the country, but we actually have tryouts for next season coming up in the next couple of weeks here. So I'm sitting in my office, trying to get things ready, trying to prepare for tryouts, making sure pennies are all set and all that type of stuff, and rosters are all printed out and registration, stuff like that. And this guy comes walking in my office, kind of an older looking dude, and he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I give him the, "Hey, good, yourself?" And he's like, I just want to let you know my son's 6. He should be, but he can really play. He can play, and I know that he can play for your team that is 8-year-olds. And I'm like, "Oh, really? What makes you think that?" "Well, he's been to 2 tryouts already. I seen the way that those guys skate, and I've seen most of your kids skate, and I think that he can definitely make your team." So I'm like, "So you're telling me that your son's 2 years younger than these guys, and he can make our team?" I'm like, "I think we got a pretty good group that's about to turn out here." I said, I know a bunch of the kids, and at the end of the day, it's mite hockey. If you got 1 or 2 studs, you're probably going to win the game. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, "Yeah, we'll take a look at him." Then I give him kind of that real dumb looking stare on my face that I'm good at doing and making myself look stupid. And he just kind of walks out of the office. So now tryouts happen. I'm like, all right, I got to see what number this kid is. So I'm evaluating upstairs, looking, and I'm like, all right, there he is. Yeah, he can skate. He's a young kid. He's all right. I look down in the corner, and there's this psychopath. He's got a jump rope out, right? He's legitimately jumping, hopping up and down, right, while the tryouts are going on in a hockey rink. And I'm like, what is going on here? I'm like, this guy's out of his mind completely. He's jumping. I'm talking, he jumped rope for a half hour straight. Did not stop jumping rope.
Is he watching? He's watching his kid the whole time, or is he facing everywhere?
He's standing in the corner of the rink watching his kid.
Well, he's jumping in the corner of the rink.
Yeah, he's definitely not standing. He's jumping rope, watching these kids try out. And I'm like, this guy is a complete lunatic.
Hey, and with your ADD, you're now not watching any of this practice. You're counting the minutes this guy's jumping rope.
This kid could have been Sidney Crosby, and I would have still just been staring at the dad. Like, every jump, I'm like, he's got to miss at some point. Like, this guy's a freak.
21 minutes.
Yeah, like, what is going on here? Like, these kids are in the middle of...
Was he in sick shape when he came in your office?
No, he was, like, old. He was, like, probably, like, had a 6-year-old, but he was, like, an old father.
He was like Forrest Gump, but the skipper.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh my God.
So was this kid good enough to make the team? Or
No, and first of all, if you walk into the office before and you tell the coach that my kid's good enough and all this type of stuff, you ain't making the team, buddy. And I want all you parents out there to take notes, right? If you're that much of a nut... Last thing with this guy, then he busts out a straight yoga pose where he pulls out, like, his leg is hanging up on the dashboard where the glass is. Like, he's got his leg up there. Like I can't even straighten my leg.
So he's doing a split, but he's standing on one leg.
Yes.
So he's like a gymnast almost.
Crazy, right? Like, it was nuts. And it
like, kind of showing his, like, cornhole almost to the glass.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like... It was outrageous. So this guy, it didn't work out, and
you had to call him in after to tell him his kid wasn't in fact good enough, correct?
Oh no, I was like, just see you later, buddy.
If you don't hear from me,
yeah. Don't
I'll
call
give you a
me.
call.
I'll call you. You know what I mean?
Hey, I'm kind of pissed you didn't have a post practice conversation.
I mean, I would have think he would have been sweating like a pig. I would have hoped he would have jumped in the shower or something. You know what I mean? But then, so needless to say, I don't know this guy's name, but he's the type of guy, and for all you parents that are listening out there, do not walk into the office. Do not be the guy that's going to say, hey, my kid's this, my kid's that. Just let your son or daughter go out there and put in the work and do it. And if you're the guy that everywhere to kind of lead into us, and I know this guy because I did follow up on him, this same person, he was on 4 different teams in 4 different years, and it was always the coach's fault. And no matter how good of the coach is, it was the coach's fault. And my son wants this, and my son needs this. Buddy, it's your fault. It's not the coach's fault. It's on you. There's something wrong with you.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Jesus
I like.
Christ,
Well, I
four
like
different teams.
I like thinking
4 teams in 4 years. That's like
That's-
insane.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
nuts.
I mean, dude, you see the common denominator here. You know, I will say if we get a little, maybe we get a little T-shirt out there for the parents. If you want to nope, jump rope. There we go.
I like that.
Like, if you want to nope, you ain't on the team. Go jump rope during trial.
And then you got Dr. Ross just
Holy
lying
shit,
on
that
the
was
couch
pretty good off the top of your head there, Whit.
with the afro that I had going.
Jeez, how to talk parents down when they're like overinflating their kids' talent when they think they're much better than you. Do you like to prick a pin on that, or do you like? Is it tough to
Just
do?
let them do it. You mean, or just
Yeah.
let them go?
Yeah, again, like I think it's hard because sometimes you want to talk realistically with the parents, but they're so far over the edge they just don't get it, and that's when again you kind of you give them like the oh really like that blank stare like there's something wrong with you.
Like
You know
almost,
what I
I've stopped listening.
Yeah,
if you can,
I'm
if you have
so
a brain
checked out of
yes,
this,
yes,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
There is a way not to be a quote-unquote asshole about it and have to be the one that lets that person down is what you could pull them in after practice and say, listen, your kid's just too good for 8. He's got to go to 9 years old. let me give you the 9-year-old coach's number, and this kid, if not 10, maybe even 10.
Yeah.
But I would start with 9 and see where it gets you.
100%.
So
100%.
and just kind of hand him off gently into the next room.
Yeah, pass the buck.
All right, he pulled out an email.
I got another email that I printed out. You guys
There's
see
a
the
lot
highlights.
of highlighter on that one.
Yeah, I'm the highlight guy that just and these are this is probably what made me struggle so much in school is I just highlighted everything because it all seems important. You know what I mean? But
I remember thinking, how do you decide what gets
how do
highlighted?
you decide which ones? You know, what I
all
mean?
this stuff affects me.
So this is an email from Carly, and this is up in Calgary, Alberta, and I call this one the coach chokeout. And I'm going to go through a couple of points of my highlighter here, but there was February 2012, 2 Bantam AAA female teams in Calgary battling for the last playoff spot in the division. Tensions definitely running high. Carly's team, she's the coach. They're smoking the other one. One of the girls on the opposing team took 2 penalties. Coach said, or I guess one more in the league is if you take 3, they kick you out for the game or whatever.
Sure.
So one more and she's out. Playing terribly. Complete liability out there, according to Carly. In between the second and third period, they must have cut the ice. So they got they're downstairs in the locker room. Coaches are standing outside. A lunatic parent comes flying down, right? Attacks the opposing coach, chokes him out, right? All these other coaches and stuff like that have to go down and break it up. Big disaster. Obviously, like we talked about before, police gets involved, everything. Parent takes off running. And just a complete disaster in a woman's game. And come to find out, this poor girl, obviously, she was a very good player. She just had an off game, right? And the parent just lost its cool. Was a Division I prospect, very good player. And after that incident, that was it. Never to be seen or heard from again.
Why would you want to deal with a parent like that? It's like you find out that's the perfect example of a parent just ruin it for their kid. So he actually choked her out. Like, did she go down or?
Oh yeah, like full on, like just.
She go to jail for that.
It's like attempted murder, right?
Yeah, exactly. Just choking
Jesus,
the guy
this
out,
episode
like,
got
two-
really dark.
2 hands around the throat and whatever. But it's just another irresponsible act by a parent.
That was a bit of a buzzkill.
Obstruction
story.
holding.
No, I mean,
No,
but
that
this
shows.
This is what needs to be exposed.
Doctors
right?
aren't there to help out like the people who don't need the help. The doctor Rink shrinks to help lunatics like this. I mean, you're going to deal with some straight up psychopaths.
I once choked out an official for not giving me a second assist on a power play goal in minor hockey.
With your stick?
I was big for my age, though, so I was able to get to him.
Can't tell if he's kidding or not.
No,
I think
I wasn't that crazy about points until I got to pro. Anyway, what's up here?
No, so I got another email that came in. This is an interesting story from Jeremy.
What's the name of this story?
I call it the General Hospital
Isn't that a soap opera?
Exactly, Biz.
Yeah.
Was Gomez in that one?
Yeah, I think he was.
Was he? My grandmother used to
one of
watch
those.
it. That's the only soap opera I could think of.
I used to
Luke
watch
and Laura.
Days of Our Lives.
Oh, yeah.
Young and Restless, was that one?
Yeah, I didn't watch that one.
Well, my grandmother liked General Hospital, so we'll go
These
with
are
that.
the days of our lives.
So this is the General Hospital soap opera scandal. Coach Jeremy would send weekly emails, which is pretty common as a coach. Obviously, I do it once in a while. You send, hey, we got practice on Tuesday, Thursday, game Saturday, game Sunday, etc. The usual type of stuff. Upcoming tournaments, logistics, all that type of stuff. And after one of the emails, one of the moms replies all to an email.
I'm getting a little blood flow.
Every parent, everybody saw this email that was extremely, extremely inappropriate to the coach. So the father obviously gets the email, right? Mom and dad are both on the emails.
God.
He assembles his group of boys, and they go after the coach. They lose their minds.
And all he did was get an email from the wife. Like, he didn't even do anything.
Well, I mean, come on. Something's going on here, right?
So we don't have the actual email?
We don't have exactly what was said. No,
well,
we don't
listen,
have
if they're going after the guy, it must have said something like, can't wait for round 2, or something that is already...
Oh, it said
right?
something. It said something vicious. And
that's
obviously,
ugly.
I don't think wanted to explain
what was said.
what was said. But he, this father ends up, of the wife ends up, assembling his crew, and they end
His
up
goon squad.
his goon squad, and they end up laying a beat down on the coach, right? And to cap it off, the families did like a wife swap.
No.
Coach
the
was
TV
married.
show or the real?
Coach was married with a kid on the team. Obviously,
Oh, my God.
the other couple was married, and they did the old swaparooski.
Imagine the other kids in the room.
how-
wait, you're his mom now? What? I
That
can't even
is-
imagine that.
That is a wild.
How
wild
old were these
story.
kids?
I don't even care if you made that story up. The fact that you could even do that.
I wish I could.
You could
make
be an
that up.
NHL GM with like the conditions thing that we can't seem to figure out, because that's a mind skull.
Does it say how old those kids were?
Pee-wees.
Oh, my God.
So you're
so
basically
messed
you're
up.
an 11, 12-year-old kid, and now your teammates, your brother, and your mother's
Dude, get the
your mother's now.
Oh wait, there's a
You
little
might
bit
and your
more-
brother's your stepbrother.
There's a little
and
bit more here at the bottom. They actually chipped in and all bought a Sprinter van together so they can travel to these games in the same vehicle. Oh, that's quite nice.
That'll make the trip really entertaining.
God, that is a insane story. So let's hope none of those parents are listening to our podcast, because I think we just lost a few fans.
Yeah, and I definitely don't want those like Yablonsky brothers showing up to murder us.
No, exactly.
Not really Yablonsky. You know what I'm talking about, though.
one
A
that Bambi
group of
beat.
complete animals.
You might be able to expand a new franchise for Rink Shrink for those kids who are going to be needed in a few years. That's a tough situation.
Yeah, I mean, that's one that might be beyond my University of Phoenix, University of New Hampshire education level. I don't think that's above my
Your
pay
degree
grade.
on the wall is just like a Coyotes logo from when Keith played there.
My billboard when you drive down the highway, I am Phoenix, and you got me sitting there in the chair.
Yeah, the old wife swap. What else is that? The last one?
The old wife swaparooski. No, we got a couple more here. So I titled this last one. This was a tweet I got, which is, me. It's pretty high tech to be getting tweets and stuff nowadays.
Rossi Beach.
But at Beach Rossi. So I call this one "Bo Knows Clarinets."
I have
Why do I have
no clue. I mean, I'm thinking Bo Jackson. I'm thinking.
I actually think that's going to be the funniest part of the whole thing.
I think
the name.
it's a reed instrument. Is that what they're called?
This will be that will be the hardest we
John Williams
laugh.
over here.
That will be the hardest we laugh throughout this entire story. I promise. All right,
Well,
let's hear it. No offense for doubting you.
So this is from Patty, and she sent the email. So she was in elementary school in a band playing the clarinet. She played the wrong note while she's elementary school. So that's like fifth grade, right?
Oh,
to
yeah,
fifth grade,
yeah.
or,
Kindergarten to fifth.
Yeah, kindergarten or fifth, real young kids. The teacher took it from her arms as she's playing it in the middle of the practice and smashes it over her knee, starts waving it around, breaks the thing in half, completely loses it because she played the wrong note in the clarinet, right? Like,
It's like missing a pass.
It's like falling down. You know what I mean? And it just goes to show you that this stuff happens everywhere. Like, who would have thought?
Clarinet world has crazy
The
parents.
clarinet world needs a rink shrink. The clarinet shrink. Like, it's incredible.
Hey, I was fucking wrong. That was not the funniest part of the story.
Dude, I've gone, right? I have 3 kids, right? 7th grade, 4th grade, 2nd grade. I've gone to these elementary band things. They are so bad at playing the instruments.
Nobody
like,
can.
These Christmas shows and stuff. It's like, like me and other dads have like group texts at church. Like, we're like, oh my god, like this is so bad. Like Marge Simpson in RA's world, like times 1,000. It's horrific, and it's so bad. Shout out BMAC. You know what I'm talking about.
If there's any world that should be like free of crazy parents and coaches, it's the clarinet world, and still you see some people in need of the doctor.
What's the movie that came out with the drummer kid and the
Whiplash.
Oh, great movie.
Whiplash. Yeah,
I mean,
great.
But he's in college. It's a little different.
100%. But that was still a little bit psycho.
But it was also how far do you push someone to make them be what they're supposed to be, and who's gonna pussy out?
Yeah.
I was just thinking like Mr. Holland's Opus, like that dude.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
What's it,
Richard Dreyfuss, yeah.
Like he's just sitting there and like some girl plays the wrong note and just smashes the thing, like Bo Jackson striking out or getting called out on strikes.
Bo knows clarinet.
Oh, it's
the perfect name
unbelievable.
for that.
And Patty, to the poor Patty, I guess her father was a real talented musician, and she probably could have been something with her life, but that was it.
She
That was a
never
wrap.
learned
It could be
Broken in
worse.
half.
They could have had a wife swap.
Exactly.
Actually, we have one more thing because this week was the biggest story around the league was David Ayres coming in as the emergency backup role and playing against the Maple Leafs, his hometown team. And Grinelli had tweeted out the story and the interview after, and our boy Foley, the failed prankster he is, put a funny tweet up of his memory of when he got into a game as a UNH Wildcat. And why don't you kind of explain how that all went down?
Brian Toffoli. So the Fall burglar. So we're up at we had an incident our senior year where a couple guys got suspended for going out or whatever it is. So we have a big game that Friday night. We're up at Maine. So huge rivalry, and obviously I know Biz, you don't know college hockey that well, but Maine UNH was especially from our years up at
Both teams are really good.
Both teams are really good. Absolute mayhem when you walk in the rink. Just a great college hockey environment, old school type atmosphere. And Foles, as we all know, went to, I'm sure not everybody knows, but he went to UNH on a football scholarship. So he had that kind of rah-rah, like,
he's a football
the football
player.
mentality going into a hockey game is a lot different. Like, I'm sitting there thinking about kind of, all right, I'm going to envision kind of slowing the game down, making plays and stuff like that. And you got Foles is
He's trying to shake everyone's heads.
So he's got the football. Like, you hear the interviews and stuff like that of guys just going out and like smashing their head against a wall and to get that big first hit in and stuff like that. So we're probably like an hour and a half before warm-ups, and I look over, Fulbergler sitting next to me, and he's like fully dressed, everything. I'm still in my underwear. And Foles got his full gear on, helmet on. He's got his Louisville TPS stick, the only one on the team with still a two-piece wooden blade with the worst
Skates tied so tight
with the worst curve in history. And he's got his stick. He's got two hands on the stick. He's just whacking his Louisville TPS right off his forehead, just going, "All right, let's go. I'm going to do this." And I'm like, Foles. I'm like, dude, you got to handle the puck out there, man. Like, I need you to play. Like, you're going to play some minutes here. He's like, yeah, I just got to get out. I got to hit somebody. I got to do this. I'm like, all right, dude. Like, but you got to take it easy a little bit. Like, the
puck
game
drops in 90 minutes.
Yeah, the puck drops in 90 minutes. Like, you're going to weigh yourself out. You know what I mean? There's only so much, like, rip fuel you can take before the game. This is before, like, Red Bull. You know what I mean? And so we go out. Foles is all right. I think, like he said in the tweet, I think he was -4 in the first 4 shifts. But he was out and he ends up, I forget who it was. I think it was Bells. Rob Bellamy, who we've talked about before on here.
Great singer.
His sister Casey is on the U.S. Olympic team. Bells comes in the zone and Foles he gets him in his sight lines, and it's like it's a middle linebacker type hit. You know what I mean? And he's got the stick high, like he's going right for the pitchfork as hard as you could possibly ever think about hitting somebody. And he runs him. They collide, and it was like two Rams colliding. Like it was like. I'm like, oh no! Like
there's like a thud rather than
and they both, because they're both just thick kids. You know what I mean? And they're like, oh man! Like if somebody hit me like that, I would have broke. Like I would have been done, completely.
Would have folded you.
Folded me. So Foles, they get up. They kind of, the usual college tussle where they're throwing punches at each other's helmets and things like that. They send him out to the penalty box. Foles is going completely mental, out of his mind, yelling at people. The fans are screaming at him. He's screaming at them. He gets in the penalty box. I think a fan throws at something. He's got his helmet off, spits in the crowd, spits at the fan, does the old school, so now, of course, they throw him out. They send him off the ring. He's doing like the old slap shot wave, like the Hanson brothers, skating around, dropping F you, blah, 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 just completely out of his mind. And
is that his one game played?
I think he got in like two other ones, whatever we played, like the some D3 school or something.
But our buddy said, I think Bunzo caught it. It happened to be on Nesson.
It was on Nesson.
And so he's like, oh my God, look at this caged animal getting kicked out of the game, doing the fake wave out of a college hockey game. I think if you look, I'm like my oldest is big on the hockey DB. He's like, yeah, Foles played like one game your senior year and had like 25 penalty minutes. I'm like, it's a pretty good stat for college hockey. You know what I mean?